will enjoy this presentation on social determinants of health, being brought to you by Stacy Craig and Alexia Williams. Narrating is Alexia Williams. Braveman and Gottlieb state that the World Health Organization defines social determinants of health as the conditions in which people are born, grow, live, work, and age, and the fundamental drivers of these conditions. Over the last 2 decades, a large body of research has compellingly revealed a direct correlation between social determinants of health, including socioeconomic factors such as income, education and employment, and population health related outcomes. Researchers have found that half of US deaths are related to individual behaviors, and health related behaviors are associated with social factors. The impact of social factors on health outcomes are explained through direct relationships and other complex pathways. These complex pathways and the length of time needed for manifestation of health outcomes make research related to upstream social determinants of health particularly challenging. According to Braveman and Gottlieb, socioeconomic conditions are typically outside the realm of standard medical care. However, in the past, public health nursing and its role in advocacy may have played a significant role in improved standards of living. These authors further state that current knowledge suggests that through collaboration with other professionals and underserved communities, practitioners can help to improve health outcomes for disadvantaged populations. Stacy Craig believes that nursing has lost its way by taking the think small position, as explained by Becky Meyer and Butterfield. By thinking small, a nurse focuses on one individual and one issue at a time, making the situation less complex and more manageable. By taking this stance, the nurse is no longer advocating in the best interest of the patient. To take the think small position, social determinants are overlooked, possibly hindering the overall health of the individual. Nurses can overcome this dilemma by meeting the full expectations of a nurse as described in depth within the Code of Ethics for Nurses, in 2014. The nurse must address all levels of social determinants that influence patient health, such as living conditions or socioeconomic conditions, access to health care, and social support. Within the Code of Ethics for Nurses, the American Nurses Association discusses that the environment surrounding an individual can affect life and health. The nurse should be aware of environmental influences and additional social determinants while advocating for social justice. Nurses must support and provide holistic worldly care. The Code of Ethics offers a map for success as a nurse. It is up to the individual nurse to meet the Code of Ethics to the fullest ability to provide holistic and appropriate care to each patient. This picture is a mental health picture, but Stacy uses this picture to represent the think small position. Each triangle represents a social determinant that influences this patient's overall health. If the nurse continues to think small by only focusing treatment on the individual situation, instead of taking the time to understand the influences and underlying conditions, over time, the health of the patient may suffer. I believe that nursing has lost its way also, as the following ideals are no longer emphasized and the focus is on the individual patient. According to Becky Meyer and Butterfield, progressive nurse reformers emphasize the obligation of nurses to address the social conditions underlying health problems. They have viewed social justice and collaborative leadership as central to nursing and inseparable from nursing work. In addition, they state social justice is one of the core values of nursing education and necessitates a responsibility to social action and to collaborating with others to address failure in health and social systems that undermine the health of populations. However, I also believe that we can address the social determinants of health listed in each of these circles through collaboration with other disciplines, policymakers, and the underserved communities. I also believe that nursing has lost its way because the primary focus of care is on the individual, and even our language regarding social justice is no longer powerful. In addition, according to Becky Meyer and Butterfield, the language used in the ANA Code of Ethics to describe individualized patient care is significantly different and more extensive than the language describing population health improvement. The language addressing social justice issues is weak and unclear, and I tend to agree. They also state, although the Code of Ethics describes our profession as one that acts to support initiatives to address barriers to health, such as poverty, homelessness, abuse, and violence, the predominance of examples given relate to circumstances for nurses at the bedside or to the individual institutions and direct care policies. In addition, descriptions of advocacy and policymaking relate to that which serves the individual. However, I do believe that we can find our way again. According to Braveman and Gottlieb, nurses can work collaboratively with other disciplines and particularly the underserved communities to promote strategies that reach beyond the individual patient. In addition, we can be resources for policymakers to assist the development of health promotion strategies to influence change in these communities. Nursing has indeed lost its way as relates to issues of social justice and social determinants of health. While focus on the individual is important, our profession has a history of improving public health as well. Knowledge of social determinants of health and their impact on population health should not be ignored by the profession. Nurses should avoid taking the thinking small position, which may involve changing the language of our code of ethics. We must collaborate with other disciplines, policymakers, and underserved communities to address issues related to social determinants of health and develop strategies that reach beyond the individual to the population. And here are our references. Thank you very much.